Okay, here we go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walked the bridge and we built it. Two hoes got the boy on kill clip. My team good and we rollin'. It ain't really hard to see that I'm fresher. I'm a F5 with Brock Lesnar. We ain't got time to listen. Yo, lecture, let him put the title up and I get your bitch. Ask me, we ain't never made up. When the times got rough, we ain't never gave up. Boy, you next to the one like Morpheus. So the NLO can't fuck with us. That's real talk in this purple rain. Know some real dudes that'll bring the pain. Stay fresh, rock shades like Johnny Cage. So they got a bad bitch, don't song your blade. You ain't put in work, we can ask your girl. Mad cause she said I'm the best in the world. When it comes to the game, they honor me. I destroy your league, Sean Connery. That's a mirror picture what I'm clone like. Team on like a hard light. Love bad girls, that's all night. With a gang of weed and we all right. Found my inner Himoli. We don't run from victory. Keep pouring off that Smirnoff. I've been a boss like Tommy C. We work hard. Ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise for the analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they call it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. We work hard. Ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise for the analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they call it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. Okay, stop the hate. Can't stand y'all hoes that'll imitate. All you lames in the game trying to perpetrate. Make it hard for a G that'll percolate. Got good shit for your brain. I done came up from spitting my pain. Weed that'll smoke be keeping me sane. Nice with the ice, I'm Patrick Kane, man. You ain't gotta tell them that they close to me. Get cut from the vasectomy. The MCs on the mic can't step to me. Got a place located where the Grammys be. Can't see the spot that I'm after. Now the streets wanna call me master. Got a click that'll bring disaster. We stamp coast like Tampa. Hell yeah, my money long. Did it right, no Armstrong. Hot chicks with beer pong. Damn right, we dead on. Hands up, bitch, everybody on the ground. I'ma stay here like a lost and found. They can't fuck up my melody. How a nigga got bars is a felony. That they can't fight that feeling. We smoke with millions. Make that quadrillions. These dudes my children. They bet against the team, you gon' need the lotto. I'm trying to be a king, Anthony Soprano. We work hard, ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise, but analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When it comes to smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. We work hard, ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise, but analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When it comes to smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real.
Real talk, I'm dead on. If you bet on me, you was dead on. My partner Dave, he dead on. Brock Lesnar.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 124 of Nerdy Live. Joining me today is someone who you guys may know, a former co-host of Shot from the Point, 10,000 subscribers.
Original co-host of Shot from the Point. Get it right.
Co-founder
of Shot from the Point. Co-founder of fucking Shot from the Point.
Co-founder and OG co-host.
There you go.
Dead on Dave is joining us today.
Incredibly humble as always, the Dead on Dave. Yes, how you doing there, Nerdy John?
Oh, I'm doing great. I got my Monster Energy drink with me. What are you drinking today, Dave?
Coffee, black and bitter. Anything that makes me hate the morning a little bit, you know?
just a little bit of spite to start the day.
A little bit, tiny bit, because hate does get shit done. All right, it may not be the best for your heart or your butthole, but it does get shit done.
True. You know,
it's true. You're gonna blow one of them out if you hate too much. Your asshole O-ring or your fucking heart is going. It's just you gotta learn to just be like, it's okay.
It's time for compromise.
I'm surprised that a couple of things right off the jump. First off, fantastic choice of music with the Brock Lesnar. That's a great one. No one really uses that one but me. That is the one song Real Talk wrote 100% for me, and it's one of my favorite things ever. I miss that man every single fucking day. So thank you for using that.
Oh, no problem.
And I'm also very surprised that you didn't start with when you were showering me with accolades that I didn't let you get through. I'm surprised that you didn't go, the guy who believed in me for a while till I left him. The guy who believed in me until I always threatened to leave him and do better things. The guy who gave me my shot. The guy who made Nerdy John, some would say. Now, I don't know if I take pride in that or not, but we'll figure that out throughout the course of the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Doing great. And as some of you may know, I know some of your fresh faces from that point. I was originally Dead on Dave's producer when I started doing live streams. When Dave was getting back into the world of commentary. And
if you want to call it commentary, what the fuck we were doing. I decided to get consistent again. Because I never stopped. It's kind of like now I'm just not consistent. And when I saw an opportunity to bring aboard a producer again, John was really, really he was the only one who had his hand up. So
yeah. Yeah, I was running a shitty 10-year-old all-in-one computer, but we managed half the time.
I mean, you let me abuse you, and that's a big part of it, because you got to have that. Like, I love that role. I love the producer that has that little bit of contention, but you can't do the show without him. And that's what the precedent that you started there, and then furthered on obviously with Riveter and Peepaw. I just create fucking minor celebrities. I don't know what I do. Minor fucking celebs. That's if you need 7 to 14 viewers, I'm your fucking guy.
There we go.
I'm your fucking guy.
But now you're actually somewhat familiar with morning shows, because you and Tommy C actually had a morning show for a little bit, Beer and Breakfast.
Well, you said it wrong, but that's okay.
Potato.
Beer. No, it is very different. Beer and breakfast doesn't make sense. It doesn't even flow right. Breakfast and beer flows right off the tongue. It's fantastic. Yes, like most things in this space, we did it first. Tommy and I have been doing this shit for so long. It's not even funny. It's craziness. Through when him and I met, even back in the Army, we were talking about like radio stuff and things that we did in our past and all those type of things. I was writing a book in 2010, 2011, and then when we started all this shit, it was just, it was a great fucking outlet, and we really like to try a bunch of different things. And if I'm being honest, I don't know. I just needed some sort of word there, people. I did the best that I could. Insignificant. I don't know. You are what I am, so whatever. But Breakfast and Beer was one of those. I think it might have been the best of all the shows we'd ever done. I think of all the shows that Tommy and I have created, either together or separately, I think that is the best concept, the most original concept that we had come up with. I think that show was so fucking good. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to, I left Germany. That was a big part of it. But yeah. I think we probably could have found some ways. There wasn't a lot of interest to do it remotely, but I've actually, Tommy's told me I can have the name of it. So it's like, I've thought about bringing it back a couple of times and just kind of just go, now that I drive. That's a big life change. I kind of want to like drive around and have breakfast with different people and drink some beers and stuff. So it's ironic that you brought that up early, because I've actually been considering like talking to Tommy and see if it'd be cool if I do that.
Oh wow, that'd be cool. And yeah, I can definitely see the show not working as like a what were you guys using at the time for Shot from the Point? Skype? Were you guys still using Skype at that point?
Yeah,
just imagine two guys in a Skype call with beer in their hands, some sausage and egg. I don't know, when you see that IRL, that's just like, oh, that's friends hanging out. When you see that on a Skype call, that's a little depressing.
It's tough, but it was, I was going back and forth to Germany at the time, and then COVID kind of stopped all that, and it was kind of it sucks, because I really, really, really love that show. I think Tommy and I could have made a lot of money doing that show. On like that's, it was it's so cool. Like when you go back and you watch them now and you see like what we were doing and what we were talking about and like how we were interacting with it, the way that we had that show formatted, it was just so fun. It's the most fun I probably had in any show that I've done, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, I do want to showcase this one highlight clip you guys have of the German.
Oh God, that was the best part. Yes, that was the best part. These fucking people in the background.
Oh, I'm Colonel, Sergeant, sir.
Cigarettes, Tommy.
Du singen,
Cool sunny blues.
du singst for
What is
Rammstein?
happening? I know Rammstein.
Yeah.
I'm
Ja.
profi.
Ja?
So, I would imagine, because like, what is it, 6 years ago? At least at the time this upload the clip. So like, I mean, IRL streaming was kind of a thing at this point.
It was definitely a thing. It was definitely a thing.
So
yeah.
did you?
I mean, Ice Poseidon and all them were doing it at that time. Absolutely, it was definitely a thing.
Yeah. So like, but like, did you get like side eye from some of the German locals seeing you guys live stream?
Not as much as you think. Tommy was really well known in that area. That was one of the reasons why we felt good about doing the shows, because we had a really good location. That was Gordy's.
Oh, okay.
That location in that was right in Wiesbaden. That is such a badass spot. I mean, like seriously, that place was so damn cool. It wasn't even funny. He knew the owner. The guy would come and talk to us. I think we had him featured on a couple episodes because the guy would just tell these incredible stories. And so we wouldn't get a lot of side eyes. And it was a lot of Americans in that area, too. So nothing really weird. As you see, people would always try to interact with us in different ways and stuff. So I think it was just because of what we were doing and how we were doing it. We were never trying to be disrespectful to any other patrons. We'd always try to sit away from others, if we could. We never tried to be a burden. We tried to be out of there before the big rushes because we always were cognizant of that stuff.
Right. Because I mean, Germany, it's still like a tipping culture, right? Or no? For
Germany was definitely not a tipping culture when I first got there. It has, because I got there. You got to remember, I got to Germany in 2002.
Oh, the year I was born.
I'm an old fucking man. I got to Germany in 2002, and then it was very taboo to tip, but people still did it. It wasn't like it was not done. It did happen. Now, from what I understand, it's in Europe in general, it's becoming more and more normalized. It's becoming more and more Americanized as far as tipping goes. So yeah, and don't worry, Hannah Clark, you know I'm wearing a friggin' hat, girl. You know it. Got my Jamaica One Love hat on. Yeah.
There we go. One love.
Mercy.
So I do have to ask. So who came up with Shot from the Point first? Was it more of a collaborative thing?
Tommy. So basically, we were playing poker for the longest time. We were talking about like doing. He was telling me about it. He was thinking about doing like a radio show. Hey, I was like, hey man, I'm definitely down for that, man. Let's rock it out. He had done. I think he did like a test episode that was. I don't even think it was an episode, and then it was me and him. We right from the jump. So it was an interesting. I wasn't a hockey guy, I needed an outlet. I'd been bedridden for a few years. I was just starting to get mobile again, and I needed something, anything to get some of this creative shit out of me. And Tommy offered that. He was like, well, let's just fire it up. I'm like, where are you going to do it? He's like, YouTube. I'm like, fuck YouTube. I don't do it on YouTube. So I'm like, even when I started
YouTube, that's not going to be a thing.
Well, no, I knew it was going to be a thing. I just didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't. I really didn't. Back then, I really didn't. I was averse to it. I thought it was stupid. I was like, it's going to be big. I get that, but I just don't care. I would rather like go traditional means. Like, let's go pay for it like normal stupid people. Let's go do Podbean and Podomatic and all these places you got to pay for bandwidth, and with way less audience. But hey, we'll do it the old fashioned way. It's kind of funny because I was like wanting to do the equivalent of handing out cassettes. And Tommy was like, let's put it on the biggest platform, stupid. And I'm like, it's never going to do nothing. And then right from the jump, the funny thing was Tommy was always really enjoying trying to get in the early days of memes. Like he did a whole bunch of stuff early that did well, like on his Facebooks and stuff like that. He did,
Oh yeah.
and it might even been on YouTube. He did a Harlem Shake video that got featured on a hockey channel, Puck Daddy.
Oh, I think I remember hearing that was like his video that blew up at first before all like the
It
commentaries.
was hundreds. Oh God, way before. This was so far before. You got to remember something. When the Keem and Tommy thing happened, when Tommy NC 2010 happened, Tommy, I think he had just hit 1,500 subs, and we'd been doing this for years at this point. And it was like, and to get the 15 in the hockey, shit talking space was a big deal. But a big reason for that was some of the stuff that had happened before with like Puck Daddy and like these little things that happened with him getting some of these viral videos noticed and interacting. Because Tommy is always incredibly good at taking advantage of these situations. When a celebrity talks to him, Tommy's there to talk right back. So he got into wars with these guys at Puck Daddy and Greg Wyshynski and some of these other writers who were just hacks, doing really bad hockey writing. We were criticizing them and beating them up for it. It was really funny to see how they would come back on some of it, and it really helped grow the early days. But when Tommy got that pop, he was at 1,500. I had been in the wrestling space since 2014. I got dragged back. Tommy and I took a year break from each other. We did. This is true. We took a year fucking break from each other, and I was still doing my shows. He was doing his shows, but we did not talk. And then one day he hits me up. I'm driving home from some trip, and he hits me up. He's like, "Hey, Joe, this Joe Cronin guy?" I'm like, "Yeah." We had talked in the past, thought about doing something together. He's like, "Well, we got this going on for SummerSlam. I really would like to try and bring you in here. We can try and do something and all this." So I was like, all right, fuck it, man. I appreciate you, reaching out. So ended up getting into the wrestling space, doing a Joe Cronin after show with Tommy and Jesse, Joe Cronin's old co-host. Still co-host to this fucking day, I think, which is really funny, considering he got fired when I got fired. But but it was really funny because 2014 is when I started in the wrestling space, and right around that same time that Tommy hit the Keemstar thing, I just hit 3,500 subs. I was rocking in the wrestling space. It was good times.
Because 2014, not a lot of people are doing wrestling stuff, I imagine, that time. So
there weren't a lot of people. There were people doing wrestling videos, but there weren't a lot of people doing wrestling live reviews. So like what we were doing, Cronin, then subsequently me, what we were doing is what some of the other big guys were doing. We were going live right after Monday Night Raw, which was tricky for me because I was in Germany. We go live right after Monday Night Raw, and we would just take calls and just fuck around and talk shit for hours, like all night, drink, get crazy. It was insane. And honestly, Joe Cronin, for all the fallout and stuff, Joe was very, 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 very influential for me and Tommy, because Tommy started doing a show called Monetize This, which the name tells you fucking everything, how far ahead we were back then. And that was like an original drama show, because it was crazy the shit that was talked about on those shows. Fucking crazy shit, like cancelable shit, like insane shit. Oh yeah. I don't even know what's existing from those days. Shit was so bad. But some of the funniest, just so many crazy interactions. But that's where like a lot, and I don't even know if we talk about this in this retrospective way sometimes, but I think that when Tommy and I really sit down and look at this one day, there's no question that those days is what set the table for what we would later do. It's no question, because Monetize This is exactly what we'd both end up be doing in some way, shape, or fashion, essentially. But Monetize This is just late night radio. It's just a format that's more palatable to the wrestling viewer mindset. So.
Right, because especially, I mean, you still had some viewers from like the Attitude Era of wrestling still watching, so like they're not as filtered as today's wrestlers are.
No, when what was beautiful about that time was we had so many people we were the age group of the demographic. You know, our ages were the perfect age group to garner the type of traffic that we wanted, because we would get a lot of people our age, but we were also getting a lot of young people who didn't know the products. So we had a bunch of different things that we were doing, which was really fun. But the best part was the people who were our age were also fucking lunatics. And a lot of them were so creative. We had trolls back then that would call in. We had this one guy. I do not remember his name, because I always like to, you know, how I still operate to this day. I'll fuck with you, but I ain't gonna give you too much fucking credit or honoring for doing something bad. You know, if you're trolling, you're still a troll. You might be a funny troll, but you're still a fucking troll, and you're only gonna get so much respect. This guy, and I think it might even been, I always thought it was 3 people. I thought it was 3 people, and they were capable of doing so many voices and so many accents and so many things. And that's coming from me. You know, somebody likes to try to dabble with Cartman every so often and things like that. I mean, these motherfuckers were clean, John. Clean. But they were dirty. And they would call in and they would start trolling me, Tommy. And I think they were responsible for a lot of the racial fucking crazy hate that we were getting. And some of the flat earthers. I think they were responsible for a lot of it, because I think that they were kind of like in those groups that can get a lot of hate trains moving. That's what I think. But they stuck around for a while, and they would use their children, because there's one clip where I yell at a child on my show. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. This guy calls in and he starts talking shit, and he's like, he gets his niece. He might have made that voice too. I'm not sure, but it sounded legit. Gets his niece to like call me an asshole or something. And I said, Santa Claus isn't really a little shit. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, you need to get back into a sweatshop like a good child. Oh, dude, I went in. Like, if you're coming into this place and you're trying to make a layup in this world, I'm Dikembe motherfucking Mutombo. I don't give a shit how old you are. I love playing basketball against short people. Are you kidding me? I look for midget basketball leagues and I go dominate. I don't give a fuck. You get confidence wherever you can get. Fuck no, I don't. I just do what I want because I'm taller than them. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? I could take probably 17, 18 midgets, John, even in my fucking crippled state. I think I could take out at least, I'm sorry. I need to be PC. Fun-sized individuals. I think I could take on 17, 18 fun-sized individuals without even breaking a sweat. You get me into the 20s, maybe I start breathing hard.
Jesus Christ. And with that out of the way now, Peter Dinklage somewhere is he's angry and he doesn't know why.
May I for a second? I got a really important public service announcement that I need to tell everybody.
Go ahead.
Fuck Peter Dinklage. Fuck Peter Dinklage. I blame Peter Dinklage for everything after the first 3 episodes of season 6 of Game of Thrones. And I really blame him for this fucking horrible Snow White goddamn movie we're about to get. Because what a fucking asshole, right? What a jerk fucking asshole. We can't explain. You just killed the acting market of your people.
No, there was a fun-sized comedian that was supposed to be in that movie.
Yes,
and he ruined his career. I mean, he's still doing the comedy circuit, but like any chance of a breakout role, done and over with.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I forgot his name, but I don't like that guy. I don't find him too funny, but I hate what Peter Dinklage did. I really hate it because now we got these creepy fucking weird CGI dwarfs.
Yeah.
Terrible. I don't like it.
Yeah, and of course, like the people who are complaining about that movie are complaining about the wrong stuff because it's like there's a Hispanic woman playing Snow White. It's like that's not the most pressing issue at the moment.
Well, you know what's funny about that is it's just like why is that still even a thing anymore? Like the Wild Wild West was many years ago. We this is done. We've done this. And let me tell you something. I can't even say that it's like a true switch. like in a role from a gender or a race has even like, I'm trying to think of ones that really, really, really have worked well, but it doesn't matter. They're going to still really continue to happen. Because I remember in the 20 years ago, this was happening all the time. And people with comic book nerds didn't give a shit as much as like the mainstream nerds did. Like comic book nerds, they accepted the Kingpin thing, and when they did Daredevil and shit.
Well, he was a good actor. Like
Michael Clark fucking Duncan. Yeah, it's like, come on, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think it's more of like it's the same thing that they argue with SJWs, is that you have a very vocal minority that like is trying to speak for the majority. Because like if you look at like the Quartering, he is nothing, especially nowadays, but outrage bait, right? Like there'll be a black woman in a TV show and they'll be like, they made this lesbian character black, and then he'll like make a 5-minute video pretending to be outraged over it.
Yeah, because there's just enough of a demographic. Because you got to remember, there's an ass for every seat, and there's many asses for many seats. There are crazy asses for crazy seats. And here's a little thing: Quartering is old, and he was never all that talented. So he understands that this is how he makes his money. I don't believe he believes shit. At this age, at this point, he might believe it just out of repetition, his hypnosis, but he's doing this for money. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if he even doesn't like that I say it. He's doing this for money. If he's not, he's a horrible human being. Horrible human being. And I don't care which one he is. And this goes for everybody on the internet pretty much. Because I think most people on the internet nowadays, if you're not accepting that, what you're doing, especially if you're like morally fringe or something fringy, you're doing it for the money. And that's okay. It's the time to do it. This is the whore nation. This is the whore fucking era. Andy Warhol said it was going to happen, and it's all fucking happened. All right. We're all getting our goddamn time. Take it in. Make as much money as you can, because it's going to be fleeting.
Trippy Savage says, was that the gay wiener guy? No, the Quartering is the guy whose wife didn't allow him upstairs, so he had to pee in the basement. Yeah,
he also got punched at a Magic the Gathering thing. Somebody punched him in the
transgender.
Face. Yeah, by a transgender person. That's right.
Also, right. Hannah says that she's gonna bite your niece.
Yeah. Come at me, Hannah. Come at me. I ain't afraid of you. I don't discriminate. Those fun-sized individuals can be male or female. You're getting tossed around regardless. Tossed around regardless. The funniest thing and the most thing I've ever related with on Joe Rogan take ever was when he said he could just beat up children for days. Like Joe Rogan could be like the champion of beating up 9-year-olds. If I got to just fight 9-year-olds all day and make money off of it, I would be like the richest person in the world.
You're literally going to be that fight scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're just beating up a bunch of 4th graders.
Yes. Yeah. I believe they took that from Step Brothers, but they're fucking hacks anyway over that show. I fucking hate it. I was not a fan of that show. It's Always Sunny. Yeah. I was never a fan.
I've watched a couple episodes of the first season, and then I get recommended clips a lot on Shorts.
He meant the Game of Thrones dude.
I don't think Peter Dinklage is gay.
No, I don't think you. Oh, I know Jeremy. He's closer to gay wiener than Peter Dinklage. Yeah, I don't think he. What does gay wiener guy mean?
I don't know.
Like that can mean a bunch of different things. Like, I'm not sure what gay wiener guy means. There's a lot that can mean.
Yeah, it's is it a gay guy that just really enjoys, a good sausage, or?
Yeah, or does he like have a wiener dog that might be gay, or doesn't like gays? I mean, I have no clue. I need more information. This is definitely not enough information. So don't worry, Cuck. I'm sure Gina Carano would appreciate nice guy persona. Good guy.
So when did you come? So you came back to Shot from the Point post Keemstar?
No. I was already back when all that was going on. I'd started going back to the States in 2016. So that was kind of when I stopped being an everyday host again. There would be times where I'd come back for spurts, even long spurts. But yeah, when pretty much that was the end of my long-term everyday hosting.
Gotcha. So I do have one question.
Oh boy.
What was it like doing the Onision military review show? Because like that's the biggest show on the Shot from the Point channel. So like
I'm shocked that that's still did it hit a milli?
No, it's at 736K though.
I can't believe that after everything else that that Tommy's done that is still the highest view. I cannot believe that.
You guys reached a good point. I mean, what was it? 6 years ago. This is the height of Onision hate, where white women would just watch anything about the guy. So, especially if it was like you guys reviewing his military record to like invalidate him in any sort of way. Oh, they were all over that.
Well, this one, I think why that one worked and why it resonated is because we were really fair. You know, we tried to be as fair as humanly possible. Because Onision was an interesting time. I got one of the craziest Onision stories ever. It's just such an Onision story. Check this out. This is 100% true. So Tommy didn't do a lot of Onision stuff. He covered more of the people who were covering Onision.
Right, because those are crazy in themselves sometimes.
They were the bigger story. They were like how we met Tipster is from him. Is from Joy Sparkle. Joy Sparkle got fucking coverage because she was making Onision video after Onision video. She became obsessed with Onision. We started making fun of Joy Sparkle. Tipster came to the defense of Joy Sparkle. That's
some things never change. The content
some things never fucking change.
It never changes.
I'm telling you, man. But I believe, if I remember maybe Tommy knew him before that, but I believe that's how we even really got introduced to him. I believe. But what was the question there?
So what was it like? What was it like seeing that that video?
Yes.
I'm sorry, the live stream itself.
So, no. I remember exactly where I was there. I'm sorry. So the Onision thing was such a crazy time, and we met so many different people from it. I was doing this show with this crazy chick. It ended up typically being me, Tobes, Vega, and this insane girl that I would call the porcelain doll. Her name was Faye Bell. And I don't think she's around much anymore, but she was gorgeous, incredibly tragic in so many ways. She had some crazy stuff that was going on in her life at the time, but just this wonderful human being with great morals for the most part, but she was a shit talker like us. She would tell things how they were. She would go hamma-lamma ding-dong. She had this really, 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 really talented husband. She was very incredibly popular, and we would do all of these really fun. She was really popular in the community. The women loved her, and she was just wilding out, right? And we would do all these crazy shows. We do like 3 of them a week, where it was what the hell, doing something. It was the YouTube roundup with Faye or something. I can't even remember what the fucking show was, but all the topics that we were covering was all like beauty community topics, Trisha Paytas stuff, Onision, things that nobody else. This was like 2015. This is like before people were even covering this shit, which was annoying to me because I'm like, we're always covering shit before other people are covering shit, and we weren't getting the fucking traction. I was always getting mad.
Right, and you don't get the recognition afterwards.
You don't, because other people covered it either better or had a bigger viewing. I ain't bitter about it. It's just how the way it fucking goes. I've had a great fucking run. I don't give a shit. But what was crazy about this was I probably could have made more of my interactions with Onision. He featured us. He actually featured us. Yes, he put us. I think we ended up getting in 2 different videos, and he was just kind of being snarky back. He didn't really say much else. He just made fun of us a little bit, but nothing crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So then, I hit him hard. We fuck him up hard. We actually have a really big, it was our first time cracking over 150 because it was coming off of Catch 33, and Vega was a thing at this point. And when Vega would come on, Vega and Faye were saying some of the wildest shit I've ever heard. I'm not even kidding. Well, anybody who knows Vega will literally say anything. and Vega and Faye, I have no words. They leave me speechless. It was insane. But so I'm on Twitch, right? I get a strike. This is what really fucked up my channel. I always forget this. And when I'm unfair to myself and I get down on some of the woes of the Dead on Dave channel, I always forget about this. This is a very important time. I got a fucking strike. I got an unjust fucking strike that took my channel down for 3 months. I couldn't go live. And that's all I did.
For 3 months?
3 fucking months. That was how it was back then.
Jesus.
That's how 90 days. That's how it was back then. And that was down from 6 months originally. So not fucking fun at all. So what was crazy is shit, what was that? I'm sorry, I just took a big bong rip. What did I just say, John?
you were talking about how the podcast was starting to get some traction with Faye and Vega.
So I get the strike. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. I get the fucking strike. It's early and I'm fucking it's a green morning. I get the strike and I have to build Twitch, which I never wanted to build Twitch. I don't want to ever do anything if I can avoid it. I'm like, no, I'm good on YouTube. I don't need to do Twitch. So now I have to do Twitch, right? And I grow Twitch really quick with the help of people like Ace Trainer Liam and stuff. And it's going incredibly well. It's great, right? So Onision hits me up this one day. Onision hits me up one day. Is that, hold on one second. Was that in the door? Was that in the door? Oh, that's not good. I'm on someone's show right now. So I left my keys in the door overnight. I could have been like all kinds of murdered.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not good. I could have been all kinds. When did I go back out? I don't even know why those were in there. When did I go back out? Yeah, I know if I haven't gone out tonight, but I don't remember going back out after. I guess when I came back in, I left. I could have been murdered. Oh, shit, I could have died all kinds of horrible ways. Hey, but at least we know we live in a safe building, so that's positive. Hold on, alive. Hold on. So I'm building Twitch, right, John?
Yeah.
And don't worry about me. I'll be fine. That's never happened, by the way. I've never left my key in the fucking door overnight. That's terrifying. Thank you for finding that. So building Twitch. Sorry, John. Building Twitch, and out of fucking nowhere, and this is after we had hit Onision over the head. He writes me on Twitch. He writes me, and the message goes just about like this: "Hey D, was wondering if you wanted to collab sometime. I'd love to have." Back then, it was like you could auto host each other. You can when. If I wasn't live and you were, you would show up on my channel. Yeah. He wanted to feature me on his Twitch, and he said I could do the same. And I wrote him back because I did not know what to do. I was like, what? I'm like, we hate you, bro. I'm like, what? Are you out of your fucking mind? Because I'm not gonna compromise on stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't know how to respond. So I just wrote him back, and I decided to go the polite route. And I was like, you know that I make fun of you, right? You know that. And he goes, yeah, it's funny. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, it doesn't mean we can't work together. I'm like, look, I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate the offer, but I think I'm going to pass. And that was it. He was real respectful in saying, okay. And that was it.
Dude, imagine the alternate timeline. We could have had a show with Onision and Dead on Dave. Imagine that.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That would have lasted like 15 seconds. Like 15 seconds.
The pilot has like 100,000, like it has like 500,000 views, but like that's it. That's the only episode.
It. That's the one episode. And it's lost to the ether. Yeah, I know. I would never be able to work with them. Look, back then, coming off of the Catch 33 thing, I was looking to ride any momentum that I could. But not that. I didn't like Keemstar. I didn't like being associated with Keemstar. It's just not for me, especially back then. I was like, no, I'm good.
And he was really the only one in the space that was like doing the multi-podcast thing where it's like, let's make a podcast here, let's make a podcast there.
Well, it's really, it kind of started, it's funny. With like most things with Keem, it had already existed, just in either other spaces or in the micro. You know, making mega podcasts or popular threesomes, or teaming up with somebody else of big numbers. That's not new. You know, it's not like it's never happened, but it was happening all the time in the wrestling community, and a lot of like the early stage shit talking communities and stuff. It was happening all the fucking time. We were purposely fighting with people because we understand that the controversy is so important. You know, like even if it like to fight with people and argue and get them invested in your point and then get their fans over it. We always understood if you can get fan bases to interact with each other, you had something. And it's because we took all this from wrestling. It's just wrestling fucking logic. It's all it is. It's why we've survived. It's why we can take anything. It's why we don't fucking react to any of the bullshit stuff that people say. We control those because we understand that this is all just wrestling audience bullshit. That's all it is. And if you can get the audiences to kind of do what you want in, respect to the show, to the entertainment aspect of it, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine because that's what they're here for. They're here for those interactions. They're here not for just with you, but they want to talk to the other side. They want to fight with the other side. They just want to call the other side F-slurs sometimes. They want spaces they can do that. I'm serious. And that's what a lot of those early days of, call it commentary, because it was what we were doing back then was commentary. Plain and simple, it's commentary. It's wrestling commentary.
Yeah, well, it's because the majority of your shows were live, right? I mean, I'm sure some of them were pre-recorded, like Catch 33 and some other stuff, but like
those were the abnormal ones. Yeah, everything was live.
Yeah, so like nowadays, being a live streaming commentary channel, I would say is like more feasible and more popular than being like a pre-recorded commentary channel now. But like you guys were doing it back in the day when it's like, well, you had to be leafy, make the 10-minute video with like CS:GO gameplay, and that's how you made it big. But you guys were again ahead of your time with the whole live streaming thing.
We were not algorithm friendly. We were definitely not what the algorithm was looking for back then. But yeah, I don't even like saying ahead of our time because it's just honestly it's all cyclical. And if you're into entertainment, if you're into the mainstream, if you're a critic of the mainstream, and that was the thing that Tommy and I both had in common. Tommy hated the mainstream, and he always flocked to. Remember, Tommy was whatever the fuck you want to call Warp Drive his band, alternative, slop punk. I don't know what the fuck Tommy considered himself musician wise, but whatever the fuck that was always Tommy. Tommy was the Howard Stern. Tommy, that was me. That was him. Me, I was the mainstream guy who had lost the illusionment. Like I was disillusioned. I understood what it all was. And I was like, man, I just kind of want to find my own voice. And that's just kind of but it was a good mindset to have. But because when you are kind of a student of that and you watch it and you know all the different genres, you know what times of year to do them. You know when people are traditionally watching more often. Why? Because all that research has already been done over the last 100 years through radio and television and movies. People know exactly when to release things. If you have a certain fucking genre of film, or if it's like a certain category, blockbuster, the best times of year to put them out if you want to maximize your money. Same thing with television, radio, and stuff. The guests when they have stuff going on. So it's just if you know those things and you know how to change, and this when you were working with me, you just go take that format and translate it to the different times of the year. And you do that, you adapt to anything.
And another question. So Catch 33. Obviously, I know the reason why that podcast exists is because of the falling out Colossal and Tommy had with the Baited podcast. I was never clear on why did that end? Was it like a falling out with you and Tommy? Was there something else internal going on?
So basically how Catch 33 happened was crazy in itself. With the whole pay argument and all that stuff, which was really the minor point of everything. Keem's hard to work with, and this shit happens. So I don't understand why Clown wanted me, but I was Clown's choice. And I don't know why. To this day, no clue why. Tommy was expecting, not that he necessarily didn't want me or wanted somebody else, but I think Tommy was expecting another million sub plus guy to take Keemstar's place. That's what he was expecting, and why wouldn't he? And if I had to guess, he was expecting that person because of the relationship with Clown to be pyrocynical. I think in Tommy's perfect world, coming off of Baited, him, pyrocynical, and Colossal's Crazy would have been an unbelievable team, and I have no clue what that would have done.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, because what was it? Pyro was still doing like that faux sort of like diet leafy thing.
Pyro was going through a real weird time at that point. He still looked like a giant lesbian. He
was trying to hide the fact that he was a furry.
He had a lot going on, and he was a weird guy. But he had a little bit of the same type of problem that Clown had, and this is where I'm answering your question. Clown does what he wants when he wants. And there are people who say it, and I'm one of those, but then there are people who really do it. So I don't know how much of the full story has ever been told. I am sure most of it has been told in full at this point. Through I haven't talked to Clown in years, unfortunately. I really haven't talked to Tommy in a really long time either. But we were losing momentum because of how long it was taking to get episodes out, and we weren't recording. It was getting frustrating for all of us except Vega, because Vega still has videos that he hasn't put out from years ago. So Vega is the most brilliant editing mind on this space. Like he's top level professional grade. He's that good, but he's also an artist who's a badass, who has like an unbelievable backstory. That like you can't blame Vega for any of the things he does or doesn't do. Like he has such a crazy cool fucking life. Like I never blame Vega, but Vega and Clown together in any capacity is a recipe for nothing to happen.
Oh no.
And unfortunately that was the case. And Tommy and I, you got to understand, Tommy and I could not be more fucking different. We were military. We had been doing this for years. We know you have to get these episodes out. You have to fucking hit this algorithm. You have to give these fans way more. They wanted more. We got 60,000 subs on Catch 33 without uploading a fucking episode. Okay? People were 60,000 subs we got before we uploaded a fucking episode.
Wow.
All right?
So like you and Tommy were like, because like, you guys are still trying to grow. You're still trying to like, I mean, you found your audience, but like you want to expand
different audiences. Tommy was doing great at that point. He was coming off of Baited. I had really done well with the wrestling. I was approaching 4,000 or 5,000 at that point. Things were going fucking swimmingly.
You guys were hungry for more, and like, but like,
fucking A.
But Vega and Clown, kind of reviewing this as like more of a side thing. So like, obviously,
not that I not even want to say that, because I think that's unfair.
Okay.
They were going to do, like, Clown traveled in crazy ways. He had so much. They were more personal and private than we were. Tommy and I were live streamers every day, on the hustle, on the grind, schedule, consistency. It was our watchword. We're going to get this out for whatever reason. It could be creative reasons. It could have been like, we're going to have this like perfect the way that we wanted to have it, whatever it was. It was always a delay, and it was just, it got to the point where something had to give. I know I couldn't keep going anymore. I couldn't keep, like, I was starting live streams and doing shows and then getting calls in the middle of them to come to recordings that would not happen. Like, it was just, there was so much going down that, yeah, I was pretty much done. I know Tommy was pretty much done. I think the final straw, like the last meeting that I knew that it was over, was I had asked Clown for one day. I think it was every 2 weeks because I knew he wouldn't give me a week. But I was like, just give us one day every 2 weeks or 10 days where we're guaranteed to sit down and record something. And he would not do it. It was not happening because he wanted a story for us to talk about. We didn't want to do just random stuff. But Tommy and I were like, we're pulling 1,400 people on our last live stream talking random shit. Yeah, it was coming off of like the Tana Mojo thing, I believe.
Oh, TanaCon.
Yeah, I believe that was the topic. It was one of those live streams. We'd hit 1,000 on a lot of those live streams, but we had 1,500 on one of those. That was the one that Tommy smashed the keyboard over his head.
He smashed the keyboard over his head.
Yeah. Classic moment. Classic fucking moment. Because Tommy doesn't get the credit he deserves for knowing his role. Like, he understands whatever role is necessary to succeed. He will do it. Like, when he was with Baited that he was the laugh track third guy in, all that, the sniper, call it whatever you want. When Catch 33 started, I think Tommy, like, the expectations were he was going to become that second guy or even that main guy. But Tommy took a different role. It was kind of crazy when Vega was added in, especially when Vega took more of a vocal role. Tommy really saw that Clown and I had a great thing, and he really gave a lot of space to me. Like, I was always thankful for that. He always just let me fucking kind of be that second guy, and Tommy took more of a back role on a lot of the Catch 33 stuff, which was really, like, he didn't need to. It was a good thing to do. Yeah. But it was what was working. Like, Tommy's always had that eye, and I try to say that I have that same ability, that I'll fit into whatever role needs to be done. If I got to lead, I'll lead. If I got to follow, I'll follow. Whatever's going to make the show good, whatever's going to make it work. I think I can work with just about anybody, maybe not forever, but you learn from people in this game. You take what you need, and you like I always said, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. And that all that means is, where you are weak, find people that are strong, because where they are weak, you are probably strong. And you can learn and get better and build off of each other. So while Catch 33, unfortunately, did not work out, and I think that was the big one, that we could have made so much money with that fucking show. We learned a lot. And Tommy learned all the lessons from that, and he had the ability to capitalize on it. And it's why he's had the career that he's had. I've done what I could do, so no regrets. I think that we all did the very best that we could with Catch 33, but at that time, that was just kind of the best you were going to get. And fast forward to now, Clown got pretty consistent, I guess. They did a bunch of episodes with him and Pyro and Dolan and Nerd City. That lasted a while, right?
Yeah, I think they still plan on continuing it to some degree.
They're still doing it.
I think
sort of. I thought Nerd City fucking bled out. I thought he period blooded everywhere.
Nerd City is no longer on the project because how dare Pyrocynical's subreddit be slightly mean to him?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why he's so soft. I never understood Nerd City as far as softness goes. When he was growing, he came from, he literally came from the Shot from the Point community. He was a viewer. We were giving him shout outs and shit when he was growing and stuff. And I remember when he was getting really big, I asked him for an interview where he was just starting to get big. I asked him for an interview, and he told me no. And I knew he was a douche then for his reasons.
That's how Devon knew this would happen.
Yeah, because it's like, I not that, oh, how dare you not give me an interview, blah, blah, blah. But I was hot at the time. Like, the interviews were red fucking hot. I was doing some good fucking interviews, and I didn't understand that. I was like, that's fucked. Wang also turned me down, too.
Oh, Justin Wang.
Yeah, but I understood his because he was not doing any of that at that point. Like, he was not doing anything live. He was not doing any of that at that point. So I understood it, but he was always cool. He was always cool to me, and we still follow each other this day. He's still badass. I love Justin Wang. Hilarious.
Oh,
One of the pure funniest guys on the platform.
He makes some of the best content on YouTube right now.
Very creative. Incredibly creative. Just that's a creative fucking mind. You know, I got to meet up with Tobes recently. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got to actually after another one of my former co-hosts. I got to meet up with Tobes in New York City, and I spent the whole day with him. We hung out. It was great. This was just a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately my body betrayed me, and I could not do what I wanted to do with the rest of the evening because, believe it or not, I was supposed to have dinner with Justin Wang.
No way.
Yep, at the oldest steakhouse in all of New York. And I couldn't. Tobes ended up going. My body was done. It was just too. I got there at 9 a.m. If you know anything about me, my nerve damage and all that stuff, I'm lucky to be able to do the things that I can do. But I was in way too much pain, and I had to start heading back, unfortunately, and I didn't go. I regret it, man. I wish I could have found a way to push through that.
Oh, hey, I mean, maybe you'll get a chance again sometime. Who knows?
I hope so, because that would have been just a crazy fun dinner.
But back to the Nerd City podcast falling out. It's incredible to me how publicly he's willing to have that sort of meltdown and like expect everyone to be like, oh no, Nerd City's in the right.
Yeah. I don't understand that about him either. Like that's what I don't get about people who have that mindset just in general. It's have your opinion, but that's where you leave it. You leave the opinion on the floor. You don't get mad when people don't agree with it. It's why for the longest time, I will not read comments. Even today, I don't like to read comments if I can avoid it. Why? Because who cares? Okay, put a like on the comment. Put a like and a heart on the comment and move the fuck along. Because other than that, all you're going to do is start second guessing yourself. You're going to start questioning. Like, you always want to be cognizant of what the fans are doing, but not the assholes. Not every comment matters. Not every,
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, because like you get to a point where it's like if you don't know how to manage it, you're just going to be reading all the negative comments, and that's just going to like if you're not ready for that, that's going to affect how you produce content. That's going to affect, you moving forward with stuff. So it's just best to ignore and move on. Like
It's micro macro.
Yeah.
You can take it in a little bit, but now it's everywhere. You can't take it 24/7. The human mind isn't programmed that way to read that much critique and criticism constantly. You got to learn to shut that off. You can't. It's like we're not designed for that.
like and I know you don't follow this kind of stuff at all, but like not recording how they cover like Spurg drama, right, with like the smaller nobodies in this community.
I definitely had my Spurg fucking drama times. And not that I have anything against Spurg drama. I just can't do it all the time.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
but
like you just can't do it all the time.
I've seen so many people who try to break it out of this space, be in Spurg drama, and it's just like you should know how to react to this stuff. Like how many
Well, Spurg drama is just reaction. It's like a really poor reaction. That's all it really fucking is. And why would you want to? It's such a minor thing. We end up blowing these situations up. Remember, this was my whole talking point back in the day. We keep these situations going, whether it be Salvo or any fucking buddy else. You are the oxygen to these fires. Once you cut that off, the fire ends up dying or moves on to another forest.
right.
Continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh no, you're good. It's just like I've seen people who have the who might have the potential of growing into like a decent who has a chance to grow into a decent YouTube channel, and they ruin their chances just by like not reacting well to people being mean to them in a Discord server, and then like because like especially if you're live streaming like in this space, if you want to grow from that. You kind of have to rely on a lot of those smaller people watching you, and as soon as you burn your bridges, you're kind of dead in the water unless you switch tactics.
Oh, you're screwed. You're dead. I mean, like you can have pretty much any type of situation that if you do not handle perfectly, or you just straight fuck it up, whatever the case may be, you're done. It's you're welcome to fucking double digits. It's like you can keep going and hopefully you can rebuild. But the reality is, some people aren't coming back. You know that it's all with this. It's always a gambling with your currency of popularity, if people believe you or whatever the case may be. But that's the problem, though, in my eyes. You know, back in the day, that stuff didn't matter as much. Now everything is so microanalyzed. You know, we fight with each other and we take each other down over sometimes the smallest fucking shit. A lot of times over just miswordings, flibs, all that. And then it's the reactions that come from that. It's what people will say in response to those things would end up becoming way bigger fucking stories. And it stopped being fun, you know? So instead that's where it's come at the micros.
Yeah. I mean, like, oh my God. You won't know of this drama, but like, this is something that Nick's recently covered on like a live stream. And I just want to bring this up. So there was this guy, he's on a live podcast where they make fun of like movies and TV shows, right? It was a New Year's live stream that they were doing, and the subject of video game stories came up, right? And so like they have this like really, and let's be honest, autistic argument about stories in video games. The guy cannot handle the fact that the main host did not agree with his opinion on stories. He flips out and takes a break from the internet for a whole year. The problem, however, is that what this guy would do is he would take commissions for videos.
Oh God.
So like he was a video editor, right? And he would make the people he edit videos for pay him in advance with like he would make them pay him like hundreds of dollars. He leaves the internet for a whole year, completely cuts everyone off. And then as soon as he like pops back up on the internet, the guy he was editing for calls him out and goes, you owe me thousands of dollars. And the guy flips out again, and he's been taking like breaks off and on. He's still in like Discord calls, and if you bring up those two subjects to him, he will fight with you about them till like you leave the Discord. Like he's sort of like a flamenco, if you remember that guy.
Oh God, yeah, my God, are you kidding me? We used to measure our viewership in flamenco. That's fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah, oh my God. Remember when the highlight clip was in Nick's video on his situation? That was a great time.
Oh, fucking fantastic. We got to like 8 or 9 flamencos once. That was a good time. Bo Black stuff. That was fucking great. I don't get it. Like, I like to argue. I like to fight. But people see these. Like, I don't know. Either you care about...
battles.
What are you here for at the end of the day? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get what people are doing on a lot of the platforms where they're making shows, but they don't realize they're making shows. You know, I don't understand. The live streams are still shows, you know, in essence. You're still putting these things out. And if you're choosing to do nothing but fight with people over the most mundane, mediocre things, I mean, I don't get it. If you're willing to go to those lengths, especially, I don't get it. I never will, though. I think that you got to have some sort of a wall barrier in mindset when it comes to doing content, because then it's just all fans just fucking talking. You know, there's no direction. There's just, I don't know. It just turns into that. It turns into noise.
Yeah. Well, Dave, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for
kicking me off, motherfucker. Are you getting rid of me?
Well, do you want to?
No, you're good. I was about to pretty much do the same thing. I just wanted to beat you up because it's so much fun. No, dude, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate the call. You know, I was getting dusty on the shelf, so I appreciate you giving me the old the holler there, and I had a good time.
Oh yeah, thank you. Then thank you so much. You got anything you want to shout out? Any upcoming shows? But
Jesus, you want me to whore some stuff? Oh, you know I will. I got a lot going on. We've got the shows going on. We are getting real consistent, sort of, with the Dead on Dave lives again. It's happening a little bit more frequently. We did one last night. I just kind of doing all kinds of random stuff, having a lot of fun doing it. We got Rude Customers podcast. Me and Blossom are doing, we shit on rude customers. We have all kinds of fun times with that. That show's doing fantastically.
I've seen a couple of your guys' clips on TikTok. It seems like a fun time.
It is. It is crazy the shit that we cover. Some of the stuff that we're seeing over there, and it's growing pretty well on the YouTube. They're about to hit 700 subs. So go check us out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad, right? Rude Customers Podcast. Go check us out there. The biggest thing and change in my life has been the pawn shop. Unbelievable. I'm about to walk over there in a few minutes. In fact, just to go check on it on my day off. The things we're doing, cards and collectibles over there, Pawn Nation. Go check us out on Pawn Nation cards on Whatnot. I'll throw an eBay link at some point as well. Lots of other places. Pawn Nation everywhere. Go check us out. I go live on the Dead on Dave X Twitter channel with cards and collectibles. If you're looking to buy, sell, trade, I want to buy your cards. I want to sell your cards. I want to trade with you on cards. Hit me the fuck up. I will ship all over the world. Hit me up. I want your cards, collectibles, and all that good stuff because we are taking it to the next level. I actually have 2 card shows booked. If you want to come hang out, if you want to come sell me some cards, you can find me at Milford. In Milford, I'll put the address somewhere to right after this. It'll be on the 16th, I believe. It's a Sunday. Go check me out there. I'm going to have a table at that booth. The 29th in Granby at the Granby Card Show. I'll have a booth there as well. So come hang out.
Awesome. And guys, before we get off, I have to thank the members of this channel. First off, we got Pigeon Salad, who still identifies as Cameron Gerard Davis. He's a Super Nerd 3, which is the highest tier, $9.99. Thank you so much, Pidgey, for all the support. And then everyone else who is a Super Nerd 1, which you can join for just 99 cents. We got Lady Nerd Artist, GG Hearts, J1K, K-Huck, Micken, McMuffin, Daniel J, and Annie. Guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribing, ring that bell for all notifications. This is Nerdy John, signing out. We'll see you next time.